private chats and messages asking me why I hate Nnamdi Kanu. And having taken a deep thought into it, I've searched my soul and I asked myself the same question. Why do I hate Nnamdi Kanu? And I have to be very honest with you, my audience and my friends who have raised these concerns and questions. I hate Nnamdi Kanu because I do not understand how a man who was comfortable in the United Kingdom, had everything coming for him, could sacrifice his happiness, that of his children and his wife, and even sacrifice his parents and a lot of loved friends that we have known over the years. Some of these friends traveled with him to Nigeria and they were in his village. And most of them were tied down right inside his house. And I remember when the army started shooting, I placed a call to him, to a friend, because I couldn't get him on phone. And I asked them, I said, these guys are about attacking your house and your father's compound. Can you find a way of escape? And the guy who took the phone to him, and I could hear Nnamdi Kanu right inside the house there saying that he is not going anywhere, that he will stay there and die with his people. And finally, I think they managed to rescue him out of that building by force, and the rest is history. But then, I began to think deeply, why I hate Nnamdi Kanu. How can somebody call 80 million people to reason, to tell them, to warn them about impending danger, and they despise him so much? How can somebody educate the Hausa people who joined the Fulanis in 1967 to kill 3 million of our people? How can he be talking about the Benue people and the Plateau who stopped the train coming from the north and removed our people and buried them? How can he want to defend the people who killed Kaduna and Zogu? I just could not understand it. I just could not understand how Nnamdi Kanu was able to find 132 settlements of the jihadists or the terrorists in our territory. And he was calling everybody that had ears to hear that these people have started taking, positions around our riverbirds and that an attack was imminent. The governors heard him say it. The elders of Igbo land heard him say it. The shameful senators then, they heard him. The House of Reps, people from the southeast, the clergy, everybody heard when Nnamdi was calling. But nobody paid heed to him. Everybody abandoned him. I could not understand how Nnamdi Kanu, knowing fully well that his followers, who were just only holding a flag and a song, were all buried right in front of people, in front of children, in front of women. Mothers were crying all over Igbo land as their sons and daughters were displayed on police jeeps and police helices as they were drowned in mud water to drink the mud water. I just could not understand how such a person could go board a plane and went back to Nigeria and was arrested because he wanted to save his people. Nnamdi Kanu might have used certain languages that are unacceptable to certain people. But one thing that I hated Nnamdi Kanu for was his love for humanity, his love for justice, his love for equity, his love for understanding, his love for truth. And I remember him saying something which has always been in my heart up to today. He said, no matter how many people believe in a lie, that it will never change to become truth. And what is happening today? The lies that we've told ourselves since 1960, believed by over 200 and something million people. Has the lie become truth today? No. All over Nigeria, we're seeing the failing of every infrastructure, every agency, every government department. There's a massive overhaul, over 100% failure in structure, in process and procedures. Nigeria is collapsing right before our eyes. Nnamdi Kanu warned. He talked about the migration of these people who will come to claim that they own Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu talked about the people who, the Easterners in the military. He told them that they will be targets And look at what happened with Oba. He was mowed down. He was spied. Disgracefully, a general in the army. And I begin to wonder something. If Oba was Musa, if Oba was Bola, and he was killed, maybe in any part of Igbo land, or the eastern part of Nigeria, will there be anybody left in that village? When nobody was killed, only that ESN was defending the forest, they went into villages. They shot at everything that moved. Another thing that I hated Nnamdi Kanu for was when Buhari said that there were no Fulanis in our forest. I would have expected Nnamdi Kanu not to set up ESN, but to privately, secretly, set up a structure that would go into the forest and have a party with these same people that Buhari said they did not exist. Buhari wanted Ruga. He was pushing these people into our forest. There was a forensic analysis of all the settlements of these people in Igbo land. It was 132. We all saw it. The map was there. But what crime did Nnamdi Kanu commit? He committed a crime because he was expecting the cowards of Igbo land, the weak men in government, to set up a security structure that will deal with this impending doom. Instead, they wanted to buy Nnamdi, and not the people who had come to buy them. We saw the massacre in Enugu villages. It was evident. It was clear. But the governor of Enugu State, who lacked erective testicular fortitude, could not even act. When he called on the 82 Division, they could not act. After the activity, they now went to protect the people against a reaction. Now, the terrorists in the north, they called them repentant. They suddenly became repentant. They were integrated into the army. Somebody even boasted saying that these people can even become the president of Nigeria. And like in Julius Caesar, one of them even has become a president. Even if you want to call the person a vice, a third vice, a second man, a second lady, whatever name you want to go by it. But we've seen these same people who sponsored the terrorists in Nigeria holding critical positions. You can imagine a terrorist will come out of the forest with his AK-47. He will have a meeting with the government, and then they will say he's become repentant. They will now officially give him a gun. This is one thing why I hate Nnamdi Kanu for. Because Nnamdi Kanu saw these things coming. And then Nnamdi Kanu, instead of him to just keep quiet, go into his house, take a bottle of beer and sleep, he kept on from night to day. He was in Radio Biafra, speaking, calling, shouting, crying. He had no hate for anybody, any tribe. He only had hate for injustice. He only had hate for lack of equity. He only had hate for those who hated his people. He only had hate for those who did not want to have a seaport, allow a seaport in the southeast. He only had hate for those who did not want to have an airport, functioning international airport in the east. He only had hate for those who did not want to grant the permission for the reconstruction of Imo Airport to an international cargo airport. What Nnamdi Kanu wanted was peace for every nationality. He spoke for the Hausas. He spoke for even the Fulanis that are buying his people. He spoke for the Yorubas. He spoke out for their, even when they had their own agitation, he welcomed them. He spoke to Gani Fayemi. He spoke to, FKK. He was his friend. But alas, et brute Brutus. Everybody, they stabbed him at the back. And that's why I hate Nnamdi Kanu. Because he could have just gone in and enjoyed the comfort of his British nationality with his children. Very brilliant son that is doing well. Rather, he took the burden of 80 million people, plus the Hausa people, plus the Yoruba people, plus the Benue people. He cried for them. He wanted justice for all nationality. He wanted Nigeria to function. At the time, he demonstrated for good governance in Nigeria. But what is happening today? The politicians, the same people that he wanted to save, now hate him. They allowed him to be condemned based on no existent law, but based on hate, based on dislike. And then Nnamdi Kanu is suffering for 80 million people and above. And you want me to like him. I do not like Nnamdi Kanu. I hate him for the sacrifice that he has made, which I don't think I have the courage and the tenacity to do. But let Chukwu Okike Abiyama, the supreme God of Ndibo, be the judge. And let him decide the fate of men. But will all of us that adore him, will we ever forget him? No. Will we ever say in our hearts that there was no man called Nnamdi Kanu? There was a brave man, a hero of his people, a speaker of his people, a man like no other man, a man who told us never to be afraid in the presence of our enemies, that we must be brave. And that braveness is what the Igbo people need. That braveness is what the Yorubas, the Hausas need to confront our common enemy. We are not our common enemies. The common enemies are there. They are the ones who fly around with siren. But because they have used tribalism to hold us, to hold you people to ransom, you cannot think beyond your immediate environment. And you think the Igbo man is your enemy. And that is why I hate Nnamdi Kanu. Because he tried to call your conscience to reality. Let us keep killing our heroes. And we expect freedom. We expect justice, equity. Under which law was Nnamdi Kanu found guilty? Under the law of tribalism. Under the law of xenophobics. Under the law of hatred for a people that have done nothing to anybody. A people who have always been the victim since 1967. But Chukwu Okike Abiyama hears the voice of the one calling in the wilderness, releasing Nnamdi Kanu, for he has done nothing to you.
You see, I don't think nations can progress by jailing or eliminating their best brains. I don't see any nation that will prosper with that. My dear country, Nigeria, prefer to have the best brain either in detention permanently or in their graves or in exile. Because there is this saying that says freedom fighters can be found in 3 places: in the grave, in the prison, or in exile. And who are freedom fighters? These are people that truly mean well for the people. Why are they always on the receiving end? When you see the government going after any individual or putting everything together to prosecute any individual, just know that that individual is on the right track and on the side of the people. I think one of such is the recent case of Nnamdi Kanu, of the indigenous people of Biafra, who has been convicted to life imprisonment. I saw his videos, or if you see Nnamdi Kanu's videos, the video he has done in the past, and you will listen to them unbiased, with open heart, without hatred, you will understand that Nnamdi Kanu is not the kind of person that should be in prison. Why we now have the kind of people that we have in government. That is absolutely wrong. That is having a square hole, a square peg in a round hole. It doesn't work. So I saw this in his video, and from his appearance, you can tell that he did this video long time ago. For quite some time, he's been talking about the Fulani Caliphate, their Islamization agenda, and this takeover and all of that. Perhaps that is why he wanted his people to have this succession so that they can be free from any aggression. And this is exactly why they came after him for. I'm going to show you this video, and after the video, and I'll be having the message to those who hate him because they think he's against or he is involved in the killings in the East. Before we continue, watch the video.
We are not allowed to defend ourselves. They can kill us. They can get arms flowing in from Lebanon, from Iran, from Saudi Arabia. There are jihadists coming from all over the place, coming in there. There was a plane load of arms that came in, was detained at the airport from Egypt. The Arab world, that is what drives me insane. The Arab world and the Islamic world are busy supporting Boko Haram in their stated aim of spreading Islam to Christians in Nigeria. The Christian world are not reciprocating. They're not coming to our rescue. I don't know how you can defend yourself against somebody who is armed with RPGs, armed with AK-47s. I don't know if you do that through prayer and fasting. I do not know. Right. That is the sort of condition we're faced with. In other words, as we speak right now, the process of Islamization is fragmenting and no one is doing anything.
Right. It's medieval. It's you will convert or you will die.
They crucified some people Was it 2 days ago? I think we've got the pictures on Facebook. They crucified some people.
They actually crucified.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. There's something ISIS is doing that they're doing that we're going to, you either convert or we kill you. And I don't know why the world expects us to deal with that. It's either there's something going on. It's either everyone else is a Muslim. That's why I say sometimes that everyone in the West is a Muslim. That's what I say, because you couldn't possibly keep quiet when such a thing is going on.
You hear everything he said. We have never been allowed to defend ourselves. Imagine the person coming after you to take your life, and the authority is still being stopping you. Just a typical and a clear situation of what we are facing in Nigeria today. So Nnamdi Kanu has been far ahead of time, and hence those that have a mission have always wanted him out of the way. And now they think they do. But let's hope if they actually have succeeded completely. Meanwhile, I'll be sending a message here to people, because in my course of speaking in defense or in support of Kanu, so many persons have called me from the East, some via comment section, while some through DM, telling me that if I know the atrocity that have befallen certain families in the Southeast, that if I was a victim of it, I would not speak well of Nnamdi Kanu, and that he orchestrated killings that wiped out families and all of that. I was like, are you sure? In this country that we are you sure people did not hijack the process? The government he's fighting against can always organize a counter whatever he has to cause mayhem. It is in this country you see when you will be organizing a protest, a peaceful protest. The people you are protesting against will go and hire thugs to have a counter protest, and they will go violent. So that will not give them a means to discredit the entire protest. That is what has happened to Nnamdi Kanu. I don't think Nnamdi Kanu asked his people to kill anybody for any reason. I once watched him on a live broadcast during one of his court trials when he said that they should stop buying his people, that he is in detention because he wants to save his people and not to kill them. You get the point? So for those of you that want to know, let me read this out. This is still in the news. This is part of the word he said. You can Google it and you will find them all on the social media. He said Nnamdi Kanu condemnation of killings. He said during a June 2024 court appearance, Kanu condemned all killings, including those of soldiers in Abia, and reiterated that the indigenous people of Biafra was founded on non-violent principles. He stated, I don't want anybody to die. We are fighting for freedom. We want people to be free. That was his mission, not for people to die. He told journalists at the Federal High Court in Abuja that those enforcing sit-at-home directive through violence are not true IPOB members. You get the point now? I think this is going to take us somewhere else, because nobody know how Samuel Ekpa come in, when he came in, and what his true mission was. Because you think everything that happened in the Southeast was on Kanu. I doubt. The Kanu I know is only a freedom fighter. He's an activist, not to kill his people. The same people he's fighting to save. So for those of you thinking he was the one destroying his people, you are wrong. Nnamdi Kanu did make a statement in court to the effect that he is there to protect his people and not kill them, and that he urged self-defense, not incitement. He has consistently condemned violence in the Southeast and distanced his movement core principle from the acts of violence and enforcement of sit-at-home order carried out by certain group. Even while he was in detention, he knew there was a certain group doing contrary to what his core principles are. You get the point now? Kanu responded to claims of inciting violence by stating that it's right under the international law to urge his people to protect themselves if attacked. When reportedly stated, if they kill you, defend yourselves. If they burn down your homes in the north, fight back. He maintained this was not incitement, but a call for self-defense. Are this what they convicted him for? No, let's be very honest. Are this what they convicted him for? Now, in the case of the sit-at-home order in Nigeria Southeast was initially instructed by the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, led by Nnamdi Kanu, to pressure the Nigerian government for his release from detention. However, the Monday weekly order was officially suspended by IPOB on August 2021. Can you hear that? On August 2021, they already suspended that Monday sit at home to be observed only on days the leader appear in court. This was the original IPOB. You understand? He said, but the continuous enforcement of a total Monday sit at home is now primarily associated with a breakaway faction led by Finland-based agitator Simon Ekpa and other criminal elements who have hijacked the directive. And this was Kanu is being given life sentence for. In the southeast, who formed Ebubeagu? It is the government, the governors, right? And Ebubeagu was doing dirty things and nasty things in the name of IPOB. When they destroyed, they branded on Nnamdi Kanu's IPOB. Remember, Simon Ekpa faction, we are not answerable to Nnamdi Kanu. You get the point now. So why would you send a nice man, somebody who only knew well for his people, to life imprisonment? Before I conclude, let me read this out again. And this is alleged to have been coming from a prison guard in Sokoto, where Nnamdi Kanu is currently serving his life sentence. But we hope he gets out there soon. He says, I'm a prison guard in Sokoto prison. And I can tell you for free that Nnamdi Kanu is the wisest man I've ever met in my entire life. He carries all kind of wisdom that feels divine, the wisdom of Allah himself, and he does not deserve to be here. A Hausa prison guard has reportedly revealed. He said he continued, every time I speak with him, I feel like I'm speaking with a man far ahead of this generation. This is not a criminal, this is a leader. Nigeria is holding the wrong man in prison. I think I'll rest my case there. Because even if this word, I could not authenticate the source, but I read it somewhere and it is being accredited to a prison guard in Sokoto prison. This definitely is the minds of many, and it is the fact. Nnamdi Kanu, I never knew anything about him. It's not my person. I'm not an Igbo man. But the moment I started listening to his broadcast, I was beginning to see sense. Now look at today's insurgency. That was everything he has been talking about. Why would you have such a man in custody? Why? When those that are dumb, the real criminals, the terrorist financiers, the people arming Boko Haram are either walking the street free or most of them are in government house. Is Nigeria really ready to survive? I leave my question for you. And for those who think Nnamdi Kanu was responsible for killing his people, I hope you also get this message and that you learn from here. The Nigerian government is holding a just and innocent man. Only a freedom fighter who wanted his people free, nothing more. Everything he spoke against that he wanted to protect his people from is already befalling us today. We are all surrounded by this Boko Haram with the agenda of Islamizing Nigeria gaining momentum in a very high speed. Are we going to stand and watch this happen? Are we ready to stop it? It's up to you and it's up to me.